Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence of Sounds, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thank you so much for checking out the series. As usual, if you enjoy what you see, what you hear, hit that subscribe button. 3 new interviews every single week. Great way to keep up with all of your favorite artists. And I got to tell you, I'm always so excited to have this next one with me, Tash Sultana, who's back with a brand new record called Terra Firma. Hi, Tash. How are you?
How you going? What a good radio voice you've got. That is the perfect podcast voice. You know what it sounds like? You know, I used to really love playing Grand Theft Auto when I was younger, and you can change the radio stations in the car.
Mm-hmm.
You've got that type of radio voice that you would hear on Grand Theft Auto.
I've never had that told to me, but I feel like I want that on. If I had my own one sheet, I would want that on the one sheet. Like, I think that's a pretty high compliment, right? Could have done Grand Theft Auto. A lot of people got turned on, if I remember right, like good music from that. Like, I don't quite remember. Was there like real songs on the radio, right?
Yeah, real tracks, but it was so long ago now, actually. Well, it was an incredibly inappropriate game to be playing at 10 years old. But
you were 10.
I did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I would have been 10 when I would play that.
And were you aware of everything?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a gamer now, but like when I was a kid growing up, PlayStation was just like, it had just come out. And It was just like, whoa, PlayStation. But I had a Nintendo 64 before PlayStation.
Yeah. No, but like with Grand Theft Auto, were you aware of like all of the crude parts of it?
I mean, I turned out fine. Like, I'm still a fuckwit, but it wasn't from Grand Theft Auto.
Anyway, that's good. You seem to have turned out great, especially as a musician. I always love what you're doing. I got to compliment you on this new record once again. It's always so cool to hear what you're doing on the next steps. And I know this is, I guess, the next step, because I think part of the hook of the conversation here is this finds you writing with other people for the first time. And if that's right, why the change?
I mean, it's only a small part of the record that I did a couple of collab tracks, and why not? Why not put a couple of brains together in the one room and just jam out? Like, the way that it started was I had been asked first to be on other people's tracks, and I enjoyed that collaborative process so much that when it came to do my record, I thought, cool, let's do it. And the record's done now, and I've seriously got so many other little collab tracks that should come out sometime this year with some pretty big fucking acts, to be honest. I can't mention the name, but yeah, it's funny what happens when you check your DMs. Like, I think it's just like the most honorable thing as a musician when someone messages you and says, like, a big act. This happened recently, a really, really big act, American act, slid into my DMs and said, hey, we really love what you're doing, and we really would like you to produce the next track that we do, because we feel like it needs to be you on it, either playing instruments or singing. And that was just like the most honorable thing that has happened, when people come and they want you to like sing on a track, or they want you to play on a track, or they want your input on it. Like, I think that's probably the bit there that like floors me the most, I think.
For sure. I mean, that's the compliment, that they respect you. You dropped so many teases though right now, and then yanked the carpet out, like, but I can't tell you who. Like no hints.
I cannot, no.
For when you're doing that type of writing, though, I mean, since it's sort of still relatively new in the last few years, and I do remember, we played the Milky Chance track quite a bit. Does that change the way you write a song? Like the DNA structure of how you would write a song, does it change much?
I think it's just like you get influence on other people's workflow. Like, it's almost like I take it as mentoring, that you can always learn something off somebody else, because you would not discover it that way on your own. We're all wired totally differently, and that's what makes us so unique. And there's going to be people that think about things in ways that you just never did, and they're going to hear things that you would never hear. They're going to say things that you would never say, and just all of that is sick.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like the unlocking of things that you would never have gotten to on your own.
Does it, for you being such I'll just say this broadly, a groove-based artist, does it still start with the riff for you, the groove?
Just depends, really. Like, it can start with the horns, it can start with a melody, it can start by humming, and maybe that hum I turn it into a bass line, and the bass line's feeling a little bit naked, so we put some beats in, and then the beats are feeling a little bit isolated, so we put some guitar in. You can never really have enough guitar, which actually for me, I always have guitar in everything because that's my home base. I was shocked to hear things on the radio with a lack of guitar essence. Like, to me, that was just like, where's the guitar?
Yeah. And we should
Where's
bring
the
up,
guitar?
you've got your new signature line, right?
I do. It is the color of my shirt.
Yeah. So how did that happen? It's Fender, right? So and I can't get too techie. Like, I play guitar some, but I can't talk about guitar. But I would love to hear what went into this signature line, what you wanted to get from it.
So there was a few different prototypes before I decided on the one that you see now, which is the Tash Sultana signature Stratocaster, which is based on an American Pro Series Strat, which is a newer line, a more advanced, newer line extension of the Fender Stratocaster. And I had one, and I thought that the playability of it was really, really great. So when I went to design this guitar, I designed it off that as the model and then tweaked it.
Gotcha. It was such a fun thing to
Yeah,
have.
now I have a
Yeah.
guitar, which is crazy.
Yeah. It's such a
Which is
fun,
nuts.
yeah,
It's
kind of
really fucking
opportunity.
crazy.
Yeah, for any artist, and I'll say, beyond the guitar, I think the one of the other instruments that sort of takes a spotlight on this record is the saxophone, which I was very happy to hear, because I mean, for what used to be at the early days of rock and roll, basically maybe the lead instrument for a lot of it, and disappeared a little bit after the 80s. I'm always so happy when it comes back. What was the inspiration there? How did that arrive back in our lives through your music?
I just really am moved by horns and strings. So I really enjoy music where you can hear those elements in it. And everything that I do as an artist there's no genre. I just do what I do. And it's based upon the sonics more so than it is on the genre. And yeah, the saxophone, I've been whipping that out heaps at the moment. I used to be in the school band when I was in year 7 for like 2 terms. They were teaching us how to like sight read. And I had this, I don't even remember this guy's name because it was so long ago. He was the saxophone teacher, and he just used to come in just smelling of ciggies and whiskey and just a full on high school low key alcoholic teaching horns. But good on him. He taught me a few things, but I just didn't want to be in the band anymore because I thought it was really fucking lame. And I seriously I had nothing to do with any school that I ever went to. Like, I was the least involved in anything to do with school because I did not want to be there so badly that I didn't even go to my own graduation.
Wow.
Or any of that shit. I didn't go because what's the fucking point? I don't want to be here. But yeah, so the saxophone was there. I did 2 terms of it, and then when I got a little bit older, I actually bought an alto sax and started playing again. So at the moment, I've been loving playing the sax.
Yeah. Well, it's really fun hearing it on this record. I mean, it adds so much more of a texture, and I know I probably made some kind of audible noise when I first heard it on there. Just happy to have it back in. But kind of transitioning too, because there's There's another part of this when you get into the words and the music and everything. And I know, I don't know, with the words like Terra Firma, you know, we know what that means, and Beyond the Pines. Like I started thinking about this. There's something about an earthiness to this record. I think there was something you said in another interview or a press release or something where you said you needed to feel like a person again. Is there any relation with that sort of this grounding that I get from those titles?
I was pretty much walking around like a fucking carcass for a bit of time because I was just so burnt out. There was nothing in the tank anymore, to the point that when I was on tour, I was doing like 1 liter IV infusions once a week with like vitamin C, vitamin B, magnesium, zinc, all that shit straight in the vein just to keep me going because I was really, really burnt. Like I just had to like try and get energy from somewhere. And that's what years and years and years of thousands of shows and excessive touring without stopping will do. And I mean, I just needed to have a break. Like I'm really keen to go back on tour again, but I was a bit of a carcass by the end of it, to be honest. Like I was frustrated and I was annoyed with myself, and like I just was starting to become somebody that I didn't recognize anymore. I was losing my patience with everything. And that's just because I never had the luxury of time to just like stop, like, and not have to do something or go somewhere or have some expectation of this and that, which, mind you, I really, really enjoy all of that. But there is a point where it becomes an unhealthy balance. And that's what I reached, was this really unhealthy balance. So, yeah, I remember I was doing vitamin B shots, intramuscular vitamin B shots in my ass every 3 days just to get my body like functioning when I got home. So that's what I was doing on my ass cheeks for a bit. And then taking a shitload of supplements, just trying to reset my body. And then everything got cancelled anyway. So I've just had like the most zen ultimate resetting time. And like sometimes if I feel like sleeping in, it's just like, wow, this is amazing.
It's a nice timing on there. And yeah, I think when we talked a few albums ago and maybe the last album and everything, you know, like I'm not trying to pry. We were talking a little bit about a heartbreak and the love on this record. To me, it sounds like it's flipped. Like the love is not a heartbreak song, although it's almost like the fear of losing it, which I guess would mean positiveness. Like, is the love in a positive state this time around?
There's definitely no heartbreak. I don't write about heartbreak.
You don't write about
at all. So there's no heartbreak.
Yeah.
No.
What's kind of interesting?
I'm in an amazing relationship. Yeah, I'm in an amazing relationship with my partner, which is my one. And I've been with them for many, many, many years now. And I'm anything but heartbroken. Got the most wholesome, fulfilled heart in the world.
That's good to hear. That's really good to hear. Like I said, it shows in this music, and that's what I thought. Like the fear of losing something, like even comes across in such a positive way, and that's just the way I'm kind of relating to it. You know, if I'm close to that at all, but it's cool to hear where you are on all of this. I really do love it. I'm such a big fan of this. You mentioned the shows. I want to ask about those real quickly because I think you know, Australia is a little bit of ahead of the rest of us, especially here in America, as far as what you've been able to do, because you have played a few shows or one show, is that right? In front of some people?
One show, but we just got the news as of like an hour ago that we went into a 5-day lockdown because there were some cases in Victoria. And as of tomorrow, that 5-day lockdown is lifted and we're back on, which means that all my fucking shows are back on as well, which is beautiful. I've been rehearsing like a mad dog every day for these shows just to enter into the unknown for a little few days. It was a bit stressful, but we're back on now and I'm feeling prepared, which is nuts because I've gone from playing all around the world to all different audiences, you know, some really big shows, some big arena shows, some big festivals, Bonnaroo, Lollapalooza, Coachella, like just a sea of people, right? To next week, I'm doing 2 shows and both nights is 500 people a night. And I reckon that I've never been so fucking keen for a show in my life.
Well, I'm super jealous, actually envious and jealous that you get this experience, because I know the rest of us are so ready for that as well. I'm looking forward to the next time we get to see you over here in the States.
And it will happen.
It will happen.
It will happen.
Yeah.
We're all just experiencing it at different levels at different times. And quite frankly, it's not up to us. It's not our design. We're just the civilians. And got to be fluid with the times. Learn an instrument. Call your nana. Spend more time on FaceTime with your mum. Write a poem. Have a cry. You know, plant some fucking vegetables.
Learn the saxophone. I feel like that's what I need to be doing right now.
Learn the saxophone. Yeah.
Tash, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for doing this. Congrats on this new record. I guess we'll see you when we see you.
I'll be there when I can be. Take it easy.
All right. Take care. Bye.